Live from New York, it's, well, you know what it is. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 SNL sketches of the last decade.
If you're looking for a place to relax with an old lady, look no further. New York's hottest club is spicy.
For this list, we're taking a look at Saturday Night Live sketches aired between 2010 and 2019 that had the greatest impact on comedy, pop culture, and the show's legacy.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and call it. Florida's going blue. To Latinos.
To Latinos.
Number 10. Diner Lobster. Sometimes the best SNL sketches are the ones that initially showed little promise. Diner Lobster was rejected when John Mulaney and Colin Jost wrote it in 2010, but Mulaney dug up the old sketch when he hosted in 2018. It starts off simply enough as Pete Davidson orders a lobster, even though diners don't exactly have the best reputation for seafood.
Who am I? And why am I condemned to boil alive?
Despite everyone's warnings, Davidson insists on having lobster, which turns out to be Kenan Thompson channeling Jean Valjean. This musical sketch is just starting to get weird, as then the lobster's devastated daughter pleads for his life, and a barricade of lobster traps enters the scene. We're not sure how we got from Lobster to Les Miserables.
This diner has incredible set design.
Will you join in our crusade to keep the lobster from this pot?
Just like Davidson, however, we can't hide our laughter. Number 9. The Californians, Stuart's dad. The Californians evolved into a recurring sketch parodying valley speak and soap opera cliches. Above all else, it's a sketch series about California highways.
What's the best way out of here?
I can't deal with this right now. Just take Manzanita down to Olympic, make a ride over by the Vons Pavilions, take that all the way down to Robertson.
Even when Stuart's long-lost father, played by Mick Jagger, pays an unexpected visit, it doesn't take long for several California streets to force their way into the conversation.
For years, I was a lost soul. Then one day, I decided to take a ride on Hillhurst.
A truly great comedian can make reading the phone book funny, but this sketch somehow makes driving directions hilarious. As per usual, the exaggerated accents turn even the most straightforward lines into comedic gold. What propels this particular Californian sketch into top 10 territory, though, is a last-minute cameo from Steve Martin as a man with amnesia.
Does anyone know how to get from Wilshire to the PCH?
He may not have his memory, but he does have the hair of a 20-something-year-old. Number 8. Liza Minnelli tries to turn off a lamp. How long does it take you to turn off a lamp? A few seconds at most, probably. Yet this sketch squeezes 4 minutes of non-stop laughs out of the most basic premise imaginable.
Is there a little knob on here that you turn and everything goes black?
As the title suggests, the sketch is about Liza Minnelli, played to over-the-top perfection by Kristen Wiig, trying to turn off a lamp. Liza can't simply flip a switch, however. This run-of-the-mill task becomes a jazzy, not to mention tipsy routine right out of a cabaret.
You can't get once! You can't get twice! You can't get 3 times!
All the while, Jonah Hill just sits in a chair with his cigar, even though he could easily get up and turn off the lamp himself. Between Wiig's dedicated impression and physical comedy gifts, we can't help but get a kick out of every ridiculous moment.
Is it a foot chopper? Once! Twice! 3?
Number 7. Meet Your Second Wife. Now, this one pushes some boundaries. When we see an older man dating a significantly younger woman, most of the time, we don't think that much about the actual amount of years separating them.
I understand your lovely wife Samantha is in the audience today.
Yay, Brian!
She seems great, for now.
But when you consider how young the woman would have been when the man is already an adult, the relationship in this light can seem a little off-putting, to say the least.
Hannah is currently an 8th grade student at Wellington Middle School, but one day, years in the future, she will be your second wife.
In this uproarious sketch, 3 men are given a chance to meet their future second wives on a twisted game show.
How many years old are you, Stacy?
That is 5 fingers. I believe she's trying to say she's 5.
The oldest is in the 8th grade, while the youngest is still a fetus. Making matters even more uncomfortable, their current wives are all in the audience. Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, an always reliable comedic duo, play the show's chipper hosts.
I am not leaving Elaine.
You're right, you won't. Sadly, Elaine will pass away in a tragic kayaking accident. What?
Number 6, Career Day. Adam Driver may be best known for portraying the brooding Kylo Ren, but the Star Wars actor has demonstrated surprisingly strong comedic chops on SNL.
Look, I found Kylo Ren's lightsaber. Look, it's awesome.
Dude, that thing looks dangerous, man. Poorly made, like a little kid made it.
Then you don't have to look at it anymore!
Driver went undercover at Starkiller Base in another sketch, but he completely transformed himself in this instant classic. With the physical appearance of Albert Einstein and devilish persona of Daniel Plainview, an unrecognizable Driver plays Abraham H. Parnassus, an oil man who visits his son's school on Career Day.
Now what does an oil baron do? The answer? Crush your enemies!
His class presentation quickly escalates into a Shakespearean speech as Parnassus describes how he crushed his enemies and overcame a premature birth.
So they placed me in a cast iron pot inside of a pizza oven until I was ripe enough to walk.
As goofy as Driver looks and acts, he actually manages to bring a genuinely menacing quality to the stone-faced Parnassus, which makes the sketch all the more hysterical. Number 5, Close Encounter. Kate McKinnon has been an SNL MVP throughout the past decade, and her castmates could barely contain their laughter in this sketch.
I came to and saw a beautiful being made of like a beautiful calming light.
Yeah, same here.
McKinnon, Cecily Strong, and Ryan Gosling play 3 people abducted by aliens.
I started peeing and one of the gray aliens slapped the wall and pointed at the bowl. So I got the hint, I kind of ducked, walked over, the bowl, peed in it.
Whereas Strong and Gosling look back on the experience as profound and enlightening, McKinnon's abduction was more like a really intrusive medical examination.
These fancy cats are seeing God. Meanwhile, I'm starting phase 2, which is me sitting on a stool, while 40 gray aliens take turns gently batting my knockers around.
Although we never actually see what happened, listening to McKinnon recount her ordeal while casually smoking a cigarette is arguably even funnier. What's especially priceless is how matter-of-factly McKinnon delivers her jaw-dropping dialogue.
One gray alien by a door just kind of peeking out. I think he was the lookout.
Even after getting fondled by aliens and landing on a Long John Silver's without wearing pants, she treats the whole night more like a wild bender than First Contact. Number 4, Black Jeopardy with Tom Hanks. Sean Connery may be MIA, but Black Jeopardy has become one of the most popular recurring SNL sketches of the past few years. As humorous as Drake and Eddie Murphy's appearances were, the game show's most memorable contestant thus far would have to be Doug, played by Tom Hanks.
Doug, you sure you ready to play Black Jeopardy?
They told me a fella can win some money, so let's win me some money. Get her done.
From the second the camera pans to Doug in a Make America Great Again hat, the audience can tell they're in store for a wicked sketch. Instead of going for the obvious Trump jokes, the sketch continually subverts expectations as Doug fits in surprisingly well on the Black Jeopardy set.
If I can laugh and pray in 90 minutes, that is money well spent.
Oh, you know what, sir? I really appreciate you saying that. I like that. I really do.
Just when it looks like the sketch is gonna slide by without any awkward moments, however, Doug is given the category Lives That Matter.
Well, it was good while it lasted, Doug.
Number 3, the day Beyoncé turned black. At Super Bowl 50, Beyoncé performed her new, quote, unapologetically black single Formation.
Hot sauce in my bag swag? What does that mean?
Although the track was met with acclaim for its celebration of African American culture, its political subtext also attracted a fair deal of controversy.
What about single ladies?
She was black in that.
What about Jumpin' Jumpin'?
She was black in that, too.
What about the Pink Panther movie?
Okay, yeah, she was white in that.
SNL poked fun at just how overblown this controversy was in a sketch where white people around the world suddenly realized, gasp, Beyoncé's black. Beyoncé had never made her pride in her identity a secret, but here, when she releases a song more explicitly about her race, white folks react a little strongly, which plays out like a suspenseful horror movie.
What are you listening to?
The new Beyoncé song. I really like it.
Oh, God. You're black, too.
Oh, and if you're not a huge Beyoncé fan, expect to hear from the Bajancy soon.
I like most of her music. Most? Get out of my store! She's the queen bee!
Number 2, I Just Had Sex. The Lonely Island delivered some of their best satirical material during Andy Samberg's final years on SNL.
This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow, pirate so brave on the seven seas.
What?
While it's tempting to single out Jack Sparrow or Three-Way the Golden Rule, I Just Had Sex is truly something boastfully awesome.
I just had sex, and it felt so good,
This digital short finds Akon and members of the Lonely Island standing on a roof announcing to the world their exploits.
If I had to describe the feeling, it was the best. When I had the sex, man, my penis felt great, and I called my parents right after I was done.
As excited as they are, their sexual partners, Blake Lively and Jessica Alba, aren't all that impressed. The same can be said about the other many listeners who are forced to hear about the guy's activities.
She kept looking at her watch, but I cried the whole time. I think she might have been a racist.
But the enthusiasm proves infectious though, and by the time the song nears its end, everyone is singing along. Okay, here are a few clues about the sketch we've got at number 1 on this list. It features a very famous Oscar-winning actor being ridiculous, it's seasonal, and it makes no sense. Much like all the best SNL sketches, wouldn't you say? Anyway, let's watch through the honorable mentions, and then we'll see the best Saturday Night Live sketch of the decade.
I'm your biggest fan, and I'm telling you, I'm feeling the burn.
That's okay.
Well, what do you mean? You don't think so? Shake my hand.
You coughed into your hand. Don't shake it after a cough.
Do you remember the Avatar logo?
Yeah, it was tribal yet futuristic.
Papyrus!
Sure.
You know what you did?
We have to protect ourselves, or we'll die.
Quick, let's gather all our weapons. Rock hammer, Swiss Army knife, slingshot, firecracker, ship in a bottle, protractor, picture of Edith Piaf, assault rifle, little flag.
Darn.
We should have left sooner.
I'm always like, texting, LOL.
Nobody was laughing out loud that day in Grenada. But many people were saying OMG. And me, I was saying TTYL to my innocence.
When I say Rocky Start, I mean it in the sense of Rocky the movie, because I came out here to punch you in the face, and also I don't talk so good.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Haunted Elevator featuring David S. Pumpkins. On a haunted house elevator ride, a couple comes across many of the usual scary suspects, but they're thrown for a loop upon encountering Tom Hanks' David S. Pumpkins and his dancing skeletons.
How's it hanging? I'm David Pumpkins, and I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
The couple doesn't understand why Pumpkins is present, and the audience is equally baffled by the sketch's intent. When this hit the airwaves, a lot of people weren't sure what to make of it.
Who are you?
I'm David Pumpkins, man!
Okay, yeah, and David Pumpkins is...
his own thing.
And the skeletons are...
part of it.
Was this a work of brilliance or a work of random madness? In retrospect, it's a little bit of both. It's also developed into an iconic sketch that we look forward to revisiting every Halloween, or basically whenever we need a good laugh.
Crazy for David Pumpkins!
The scariest thing to the mind is the unknown. Something similar can be said about comedy. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.